Where's that welding guy at?
I'm kidding.
I'm on the floor.
Tough one, huh?
Well, it feels like a different level.
It's a different level of tough. Okay. All right. Did you burn anything up this weekend? I was reading some of your stuff. Order burn. Replace it over the weekend. Okay. Thank you, Johnny.
Johnny.
Hi, Bobby. Did you print on the other side of the paper? No. He saved paper this week. You did a pretty good job. You saved us some paper. You don't have anything on the back. You did pretty good. Ran out all your used paper.
This is a slot.
You want to trade? There we go.
All you were, they only went there once.
Oh, we better talk to him. I think they've been there more than once. In a month?
Well, look, is that what that means?
October, yeah.
Usually it's not a whole lot, but it's always
44 refusals,
Step it off the house.
84 day calls, 54 night calls,
Okay.
ALS 29, and basic life support calls is 109.
What's a refusal?
If you get there and they refuse the treatment, they have to sign a waiver that they refuse treatment.
You gotta add that to the number they left the building to go there.
Oh, it'll run for the month.
Like gasoline?
Yeah, they left the pad. Borrow mine? I got bifocal. That's all right. But you're limeless, man. I don't want to look at it. You walked out of the eye doctor, about fell on my face.
Yeah, I can't walk with these. I feel like I'm higher than
I got used to them. It was hard too, but I got used to it. That's what I did. I about fell on my face when that was going on.
How are you?
Perfect no slow. 0. Yeah.
I knew that.
Here, how about this one? Oh yeah. How about this one?
You gotta call somebody's got people.
Oh, what?
I'm good, Lee. How are you doing?
I'm so happy.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I really do.
His name was behind it.
That's a good thing.
That's a code.
I tried.
How about a intercept?
How's it going?
An intercept.
I did. I wasn't going, yes. It's good, doesn't it?
You gotta take it easy.
I know. I know it. Especially on the walnut part. Yeah, I think I'm sure. Light it. Oh, is that those two? Did, you want to set one up? Whenever.
See?
Yes. We were talking about something else, and I don't think they were because this one did get. I looked at the meeting minutes. We got it. Good. It went for. I'm good.
You sign your
repeal that.
Oh yeah. We'll repeal it, and then we'll just turn around and pass 18-2. And I don't know. I can check with him before we start. If it goes to the USB first, and then go to the council. Because it is for the council's application, but it's not contracted. And I don't remember how we did it. Did we read it on the...
Put my little bitty note there.
Just council?
Council made salary. He didn't cheat sheet.
You're right.
Yeah.
time, she's turned him into the biggest coin collector now. He watches it on CBC. What's that home show?
HS.
Yeah, CBC. Yeah. And he finds out when the coin auction's going to be on TBC. Oh, yeah. Oh, I don't disagree.
It's just like that's all just now. I was awake about 21 hours straight Friday, driving both ways. It was rough.
What's that? Yeah, I would too. Billy can't give him I didn't know. It's been happening for many, many years. He was.
So it's still?
Right here.
I don't know. Yes.
Yes.
He's moved from here to there. He was. Yep. And that's been second place. Yeah.
So we can't replace them? We can't, it just takes 2 meetings.
I mean, it's on there.
We do it all. We're supposed to do it all.
Hey, I'm a fire company. About that.
Hey, kid. Where are we going? Paris?
You told me to tell you about the
Yeah.
Main Street meeting.
Yeah.
It's in Seattle. And here's what it says. Special county registration rate of 125.
I'm a senior level city
I
official.
know.
Okay.
So you should look at it.
Okay.
Okay? It's
All right.
in
I was
March.
hoping we were going to Paris.
No.
Not really. I didn't like the place. Couldn't find my way to the subway.
Hurry.
I've never been there.
2 minutes. Hi, Mario.
I gotta go. I know I'm missing out on something.
Mario. Hey, stranger. How are you? I didn't see you here. I was like, there's no way you.
Where's your bag?
Covered Mike tonight. So he could lay up drunk in a tree.
Season don't start yet, does it?
No.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, Bo's been open since November 1st, maybe.
Well, I thought I thought he was a gun guy.
Hey, how are you? Hey, thanks for thinking of me during the last meeting. Uh-oh. Morning.
What was that? Next, yeah. All right. Yeah, trust me, don't jinx it. Keep fingers crossed.
Thanks, Rich.
Welcome, everybody. I'd like to start with calling to order a City of Lawrenceburg Board of Works meeting for November 5th, 2018. We get a roll call, please.
Board Member Paul Seymour Jr.
Here.
Board Member Alan Calloway.
Here.
Police Chief Don Combs.
Here.
Fire Chief Johnny Tremaine.
Here.
EMS Director Bobby Mills.
Here.
City Attorney Del Weldon.
Here.
Utility Director Olin Clausen.
Present.
President Kelly Milan.
Here.
And myself.
Announcements, I don't have any for this particular meeting. You guys got anything? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the previous meeting.
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? The motion will carry. Committee reports. Fire Chief Johnny Tremaine.
Yeah, Mayor, just wanted to update the board. We completed our confined space rescue training over the past couple of weeks. The only thing we got left to do is one more test, and that'll be on the technician level. So, you guys really done an excellent job. Very interested in it. And I just want to also, with that, I want to thank Civil City, Kim and Brad. I needed some things, and they produced them. Conservancy District had some equipment and confined spaces that allowed us to use them. So I just really appreciate everybody's coming through and giving us a hand on that.
Okay.
Also, everybody should have a copy of October's run totals. We had a total of 64 calls. That's all I have.
All right. Police Chief Don Combs.
Thank you, Mayor. As reported in the last meeting, the cars did come in, the 2 new patrol cars. One has been equipped last week, the other will be equipped this week. One's on the road already. And the guys will be coming down Wednesday and Thursday to get the other one equipped.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Thank you. EMS Director Bobby Mills.
Mayor, I passed out statistics for October, and we had 138 calls. That's all I have.
All right. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Any new business? I have none on this agenda. Old business, Mario, you filling in for Mr. Clark?
I'm not Mr. Clark, but yes, I'm filling in for him.
Industrial Drive rehab, end of the project change order.
Change orders are coming forward. Won't have them for this meeting, but we'll have for the next meeting.
Okay.
Trying to close that project out for the grant needs. So we will have some housekeeping, some small additional change orders.
There were some also deducts and stuff too in that, right?
Right now, they're still working through all the costs.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So hopefully next meeting, we should have the costs figured up. And
Okay. So we table that?
if we would, yes, sir.
Yeah. Can I get a motion then to table that item? Or you have any questions first?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Motion will carry. The Bike Trail Tanners Creek Bridge Rehab Project.
In your packet, you'll see information from the design professional, Structure Point Engineering, regards to the survey done to the trail bridge and the needs and wants to keep that thing viable. They've actually looked to consult with Beatty Construction, the original contractor that rehabbed the bridge back 12 years ago. In keeping with statute, they feel that Beatty would be the best contractor for the rehab. Under statute, if it's substantial savings, they can use that contractor. I'd like to get an okay by the board tonight to proceed.
So proceed with getting a quote and.
Correct.
And then you bring that quote back to us with the description and how.
Correct. Right now, they had to at least do the scope needed for Beatty to get pricing on.
And do you want him to explain this to you? Can you explain this to Mooch and kind of tell him there's a lot of rot going on?
In your Mooch, you have the description. If you see the first 2 drawings, that's the pier seats that the bridge is actually sitting on, that has the trees and debris growing out of it. What needs to be done is those top timbers need to be totally replaced. And if you look down below that, you'll see some piling that's actually in the water itself there, where they're split. They went through a winter of freezing and actually split out this past year. Right now, the structure is safe to walk on, but if we don't do something soon, it won't be suitable to use.
I'd I'd like to make a motion, we move forward.
Okay. I guess second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Bring that to us, what, next meeting possibly?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I got one thing under old business.
Yes, sir.
Have we ever gotten engineers to the townhouses on Walnut to look at the decks? And if we did, where are we at in the process?
Yes, and I believe we've got a report.
Okay.
If it's not back yet, it should be back.
Okay.
And what I'll do is I'll get a copy to everybody so we can share it with the townhouse folks as well then.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Let me make a note of that. All right. Okay. Anything else under old business, guys? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the claims.
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion will carry. Parks and playgrounds when you're seated. Okay, I'd like to call to order the Lawrenceburg Parks and Playgrounds meeting for November 5th, 2018 with a roll call.
Board Member Tony Abbott.
Here.
Board Member Aaron Cook.
Here.
Board Member Mel Davis.
Here.
Board Member Randy Abner.
Here.
Board Member Paul Seymour Jr. Here. City Attorney Dell Weldon.
Here.
Utility Director Olin Clausen.
Present.
President Kelly Milan.
Here.
And myself.
Okay, any announcements? I've got one. I'll just make a blanket announcement. We've got some items ordered for each of the park. I mean, Mario's been working on a list, I believe. Obviously, if you go through the parks, there's some items that need to be not only repaired but replaced. We're actually looking at some new playground equipment for the Ludlow Hill Park
Correct.
playground. So that kind of stuff will be coming to you as soon as we come up with some kind of a plan forward, okay? All right, that's all the announcements I have for parks and playgrounds. Anybody else got anything up here? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the previous meeting.
Moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I have no new business to cover with parks and playgrounds this evening. And no old business. Anybody got anything?
Yeah, we got some old business. I'd like Mr. Todd to.
Yes, sir.
Yes, thanks, Your Honor. The car track, we started placing the dirt, which is board okayed back some time ago. We're probably, I'm going to say 3/4 the way through that process. As it stands right now, we probably won't have enough dirt per the first estimate. It's fantastic material. The dirt's great stuff. I think Mr. Rudisol's probably in the audience here. If anybody has any questions, but we're going to need more dirt. We would like to keep the same dirt that we're going to use over there, so we need to make our minds up to keep the same source before snow comes.
What? How much more are you thinking we're going to need?
Mr. Rudisol?
Well, I don't want him to tell us.
Approximately, I believe, about 50% more of what we have now, which is be about 80 loads, I believe, right around there. So it'd be another half of what we've purchased so far. And he has the equipment there, the dozer to spread it, and he has the site open. I think what Mario's referring to is the site where he's getting it there. Once we get done getting what we're getting, he's closing it up, covering with gravel, building buildings or what have you. So it's not going to be available no more. And we just don't have enough of what we got estimated. So
I'd like to, you know, when we went into this, one of the very important things, I had people visit me over at the Conservancy District. The drivers actually come. And a lot of drivers don't come to our racetrack because it's hard on their vehicle because they're just, you know, we've lost a lot of dirt. Well, I've been visiting over there and always wondered where the dirt went. And today I got up on the bleachers. I mean, it gets throwed all over the place, guys. And we've been 10 years, and this administration has just stepped up to the plate on all our parks. We've done a good job, and I just don't see not taking this thing and getting it finished. I'd like to, if we do this, I believe we were roughly at $60,000 on the original. And Mario, we've got a unit price. Could we do the unit price and a not to exceed 50% of what we had, or should we just?
I would stick with the unit price. I think that's going to be safer for both the contractor and for the city.
We're up against time. We've also got some really good dirt going in over there. So I'd just like to get him going and get it done, scratch it off our list. It's a big deal to the park in the dirt track over there. I think it's a real nice thing we're doing there.
Well, started the project, got to finish it, right?
Got to finish it.
All right. Any other comments? I'll entertain a motion then to go purchase additional dirt at the unit price or the unit cost price that we've got on the contract that we had.
Yes, sir.
For the speedway.
Moved.
Motion.
Like so moved.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
thank you.
Good luck, Dave.
That's all I had, Your Honor.
Okay. Any other old business?
I'd just like to make a few comments. We're in the process right now of refreshing a restroom over at the park. We've got Trailhead Bridge going on. I've witnessed Toby, you know, he's over there on the park working on it. And I just want to say thanks. Seems like everything's coming together. Everything that I want, we're working on things. We're trying to upkeep things. We're trying to make things last. So just a big thanks to the group for you guys voting on these things to do it, because it's not been done in a long time, and I think this group of guys right up here has made this stuff happen. So good job.
Well, thank you. All right. Any other comments? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the claims.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Get that signed before we adjourn this.
What are we signing?
The claims packet.
Yes. Yeah. Where is it?
I haven't seen it.
What are we doing?
There's no claims packet for parks, so we will move on.
Well, and
I appreciate your diligence.
well, and I got with Richard just to let everybody know we have run out of here after adjournment and left a couple things unsigned in the past, and he's had to kind of chase it around. So if it's okay with everybody tonight, when we do have a resolution or an ordinance, if we could just, after we pass it, just take a timeout, and Richard will take it up and down the line to get it signed, and then proceed to the next item. I think that'll just help us. It'll help the clerk treasurer's office out, and I'd appreciate it.
No problem.
Thank you.
All right.
Now we need a motion.
Now I can get a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Move on to the utility board meeting for November 5th, 2018. I'd like to call it to order with a roll call, please.
Board member Tony Abbott.
Here.
Board member Aaron Cook.
Here.
Board member Mel Davis.
Here.
Board member Randy Abner. Here. Board member Paul Seymour Jr.
Here.
City Attorney Del Weldon.
Here.
Utility Director Olin Clausen.
Present.
President Kelly Milan.
Here.
And myself.
All right, any announcements?
Yes, Your Honor, I've got a few. I want to start off by talking a little bit about Lawrenceburg Municipal Utilities. Some of the objectives that have been identified by this administration, by my staff and I, that will become cornerstones and items of importance over the next few months. And what those are, when to go back, when I first got here to Lawrenceburg Municipal Utilities, there were a number of things that the city was paying for, including wages for a couple of the guys. There was a $200,000 a year budgeted subsidy that was coming to the utilities. And Mayor Milan and I worked to remove that from the tax base and put those costs squarely onto the utilities. I've also got other committee members who are interested in the utilities taking care of itself and not being a burden on the tax base or the MDF funds associated with the city. So we are fully committed to that and have been for some time. And so over the next weeks, months, and hopefully years, our commitment is that we can remove those things from the tax burden side of the equation and place them where they should be on the utility side. A couple of the items that I'm talking about specifically would be some of the utility bills that are paid by the city that would be better suited to be paid by the utility. The health insurance and benefits that are paid by the city, to have those be paid by the utility instead of the city. We have run the utilities in such a way that some of those things are going to be lighter lifts than they would have been in the past. But it is a commitment from my staff and I that we will work to accomplish this. I've got a couple other announcements I'd like to make. Myself and Crystal Quicksall and Paul Seymour had the opportunity to sit down with Doubletree and kind of triage an exit interview with them specific to the Whiskey City Rodeo that we held here in September. And we hope to get exact numbers from them, but the numbers that they were able to give us in our meeting were, in the 4 days, the financial impact associated with Doubletree specific to rodeo people and personnel was over $250,000. It was their highest grossing quarter in the history of the event center. They exceeded their budgetary numbers by 52%. I think that those are incredible numbers. I'm proud of my staff. I'm proud of the work that they did to pull off such a stellar event. I'm proud of this administration for supporting that event. And they are very excited to have that event here next year. And I can tell you that we have all the corporate sponsorships and all of the teams that we had this year wanting to come back. We had 168 guys here this year. We're looking to effectively double that. We raised well over $100,000 in corporate sponsorship from outside businesses from outside this community who brought their money to town. We're looking at doing better than that this year. We also have costs that we want to incur this next year that we did this year. So in all, it looks to be a much more profitable year and a better venue than what we had this year, and this year was fantastic. On other news, we've got Pribyl Road. The streetlights are in for that. So we will be working to install that. I believe the guys will be up there tomorrow to get those, start working on those. And we've got the lights in for US 50. We had all the make-ready work that was associated with the fiber to the home. And those lights, the older lights came down, but I believe those lights are in now, and we'll start working. I have scheduled the guys to work a couple evening shifts on those where there's less traffic and a little safer for them to be out. So you'll see them out and about working on those two projects. As a courtesy, I'd like to inform the board that we'll be conducting interviews for the positions that were previously discussed and approved. That would be the network supervisor and the IT tech position. We're going to start interviews on that this week, and I will return to this board with how we're progressing on that. And that's all I have for updates or announcements.
All right. Thanks for getting Pribyl Road lights scheduled to be up.
You're welcome.
Kelly, I'd like to make a comment on the meeting I sit in. Not used to going to meetings like that with the hotel people. The two ladies were very friendly, very excited about the event. And for the $250,000, I think they're hoping for a lot bigger next year, because the other thing that I heard that I don't think I'm wrong on is the amount of rooms that you booked this year compared to what you're planning on next year. Those gals you're practically getting the whole hotel, aren't you?
Yeah, we averaged 80 hotel rooms a night this time at the DoubleTree, and over 50 at the hotel at the casino. This coming year, based on the number of people that we have who are wanting to pre-register, we will effectively book the entire DoubleTree hotel out, and probably an additional 60 rooms at the overflow at the other hotel.
All right. Thank you. No other announcements right now?
No, sir.
I entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the previous meeting.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Committee reports?
Mushtaba. We've got two reports for you tonight, Your Honor.
Okay.
One of them is going to be over the data center, a little update on it. And then also a fiber update. We'll do the data center first.
Okay. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my updates. As far as the data center is concerned, we're nearing completion. There's a few items that are still in progress. One is the parking lot, and it's been completely paved. They're just waiting for it to get a little drier before they can paint the actual lines. And so that is should be done in a few days, whenever the weather permits. And we have some fire suppression that's going in the basement, and that's in the works. We're basically we're working with the same team that put the fire suppression in the actual server room, and it'll be connected, and then we will invite the fire chief and the fire personnel so that they can get trained on how the suppression system works. That's fully operational right now, and
Moosh, I've got a couple questions for you on the data center. I know most people may not know this, but we're actively hosting data there currently and doing some things for some of the customers we've currently are serving. We haven't had an official ribbon cutting yet because we'd like for the parking lot to be done and have all the T's crossed and I's dotted before we get down there and cut ribbons. But on the interior of the data center, is there anything that you can think of that we might need to be considering? The punch list, how's that coming?
Well, we've given Seaforth, the construction company, a punch list of items to complete. One concern that I had was we need additional space for backup batteries. If for whatever reason, if we lose power, we need to have additional batteries there to make sure that we don't completely lose power. Because, yes, sir.
Isn't that generator connected to the backup?
The generator is, but we want additional safety valves because the companies that we're in the process of trying to get as customers, they require additional security measurements, particularly the hotel, the casinos.
Well, I think, Mel, the best way to describe it is a make before break connection.
Okay.
So where a generator, we lose power, a generator has a ramp up time to be able to come online. People who have data don't want to see a flicker in the data. They don't want to see, they don't want to know about an outage at all.
Want to see a blink.
And I think the only way to accommodate that is through some DC storage, battery storage.
Correct.
Well, do we have room in the data center proper for that?
We don't have any room in the data center proper because we've got that's where all the racks and that's where all the computer equipment is, and there's no additional room. What makes logical sense is to house the additional batteries directly underneath the server room, so that there's easy access. It's easy and it's affordable to connect those.
That's the area that Cincinnati Bell's currently in, correct?
Unfortunately, yes. I'm not sure exactly. Like, we don't want to spend millions of dollars to expand the data center right now. If we could utilize that space, which is ideal for batteries.
We can talk about that another time. Go ahead and continue your report on the data center.
So that besides the batteries, obviously there's some fit and finish to do. We create a punch list items for Seafirth that we demand that they finish up and clean up in the way that we're used to for a finished data center. And we mentioned to them that, until they complete all the items on their punch list, and some of them are very little items, like a screw loose and maybe some paint that wasn't properly painted on one of the pipes. Little things, but we expect a finished product. Other than that, other than the fit and finish, they're almost done. We will have one other item, and this has become a concern for not only the electric staff, but the fire staff. The access controls are currently installed, and we'll start creating badges for all those that are registered to be or authorized to be inside the data center. And there's levels of security in there. So just because certain utility members can get into the data center, they can't actually get into the server room. And so on Thursday of this week, they will be finishing up the access controls, at which point I'm going to have to work with the city administration and the human resources, Jenny, Felix, to get a list of employees that will be authorized to enter the facilities. And I'll reach out to Jenny and get that list of people that are authorized.
Great.
That's all I have on the data center. With respect to the fiber, we have commenced with the process of hooking up customers. We're moving in a slow and methodical pace right now, and that process will speed up. And I believe that once we have some more staffing, that process will be greatly expedited. Yeah.
Who will develop the list of people that's got access to the data center?
I believe Mr. Clausen will work with Ms. Felix to come up with that list.
I think common sense is going to dictate. So there will be people who obviously need to have access for various reasons, and there will be people who would never have any business being in certain parts of that building ever. And this speaks to security, chain of custody issues, those kinds of things. We had a great discussion with the chief today about how even the fire department would interact with that building. Some of those systems don't need tested, but maybe once a year. And so instead of a monthly test where the fire department's coming in and going around checking fire extinguishers and stuff, they might do that for a portion of the building, but there's other elements of the building that it just wouldn't be necessary.
All right.
Any other questions?
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
I would encourage all council. I just went on a little tour of it Thursday or Friday, and I was very impressed for the amount of money we've got invested over there, how we're going to have we're generating an income for the city for who knows how long. Really nice job, really high tech. It's beyond my knowledge, but for that old building, what it was, I've been in it numerous times. I'm pretty amazed at what I went in there and seen. So I would encourage everybody to see if we can get everybody to look at that. They explained it to me real good. The other thing I'd like to say, we did get fiber over at Conservancy District. We've had it now for about 2 weeks, and I've got 2 people over there that are pretty computer savvy, and they are extremely pleased. We were with a group of a service, and we had a 3. You can explain it better than me, but we had a number 3, and now we have a 190. So
well, they were currently had a contract to get 3 megs. The most output they could get on that particular system is 0.8 meg, so not even a full megabyte. We ramped them up to 100 megs and gave them a little extra just to see if they would appreciate the extra bandwidth coming in. But just from what they had, which was 0.8 megs, to hitting about 190 right now, that's a 200% increase in their bandwidth capacity, both on the download and the upload. I know when I had spoken to your staff, the biggest concern they had was that they could not upload their reports in a timely manner, and now it's almost instantaneous. And
the one thing I never realized was I've probably got a secretary now that is probably going to be producing more of her workload just because of this, what we just purchased from you. So
and we saved you $300 a month as well.
Yes, you did. You did do that also. But that's a comment. That's all the comments I got. And I appreciated everything was done professional, and it's going good right now.
Thank you, sir. Any other questions?
Thanks, Moosh.
Thank you.
All right, any other committee reports then, Olin? That's it?
No, Your Honor.
New business?
I've got a utility agenda item that I'll let Dell present on.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Clausen. If it pleases the Utility Service Board, what I've handed out to you is a resolution. I believe it'd be the first resolution passed by the Utility Board, so it would be titled Resolution Number 1-2018. And this resolution goes hand in hand with the discussion that we just had. As the utility grows more and more every single day, especially with the advent of a fiber network and a brand new department, the meeting requirements are incredibly increased, much greater than they have ever been. It's been the tradition of the city of Lawrenceburg to hold its Utility Service Board meetings in conjunction with the council meetings, board of work meetings, park meetings, as we usually have. However, we're finding out that that's just not nearly enough time to discuss all of the items that are properly before the board. And so this resolution would move the Utility Service Board meetings to one night a week. It would be the 4th Monday of the month. And the resolution before you that I would ask to be put forward for a vote to either accept or reject would move those meetings and hold those meetings on a night where there would be no time constraints and all issues properly before the board could be discussed.
And that would be water, sewer, electric, and fiber then?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All the items that the board has control over.
Okay.
Well, the one thing I would ask, I mean, since we're doing this because we're getting so much busier in the utilities, is we're going from 2 meetings a month to 1. Do you think we ought to meet twice a month?
Well, and my understanding is that this official meeting would be one that could be utilized to pass items that need a formal vote. However, the ability to have work sessions is something that will be leaned on more heavily. Individual work sessions for individual items, items specific to Moosh's work with the fiber or with other areas of the other utilities. And so the 1 meeting a month would be sufficient to carry that out with work sessions as needed.
And I think we could utilize the 1st and 3rd Mondays of the month if we had something that was, specific. Since you'll already be meeting, we could, if we had to, we could meet that night, do that business as a work session, maybe before the city meeting, something like that. The biggest change is going to be the vendors that we do business with, and just getting them on the cycle of once a month we pay the bills instead of twice a month. But that's just a discussion that needs to be had with them.
So if there are any more questions, we can answer them now. Or we can vote on Resolution 1-2018 of the Utility Service Board.
So would the first meeting be then when, the fourth Monday in December?
That's how I have this written, to start effective December 1st, so it would be the, December would be, so there would be another Utility Service Board meeting in November. Yes, sir, Your Honor.
Okay. Any other questions, comments?
I think it's a good idea to have a longer meeting to discuss more in-depth issues than we do now.
Okay, well, and then I'll entertain a motion to accept resolution number 1-2008.
We
They're
really
coming. They'll be here.
we realize that
They will be here. They'll move it accordingly, but
the
we'll
thoughts
figure it
were
out.
it's easier to make an exception for those kinds of things than to try to nail down other dates. So
I did not know that. I'm sure you all will be here too, won't you? Okay, so I entertain a motion though to approve or to go with resolution number 1-2018.
Moved.
Second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion will carry.
And, Mr. Richardson will pass this around for signature if it pleases the board. We can let him do that, and then we'll move on.
We'll see you December 24th.
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
25th. Any other new business?
I got a question.
Yes.
This for Dale, I think, and me. My question is because we're gonna, have the meeting on a night, and you've worked with the utility lawyer, or do we need any kind of a motion to let Mr. Clausen hire, or are we good with our lawyer? I want to know from you guys.
We're good. Yeah, yes, sir, Mr. Seymour. Director Clausen has statutory authority to engage with professional services as needed, including an attorney. He has used Greg Nybarger well beyond this administration. Even when I came in, Greg was already handling all our utility issues. Greg's an awesome lawyer, does a great job, so I anticipate that's how it will continue. I'll assist as needed, but he's the expert when it comes to utilities. And we don't need a vote, he already has that authority.
Okay, and then here's my second part of that. When we're having our meetings, are we gonna put the burden on the clerk treasurer, or is it gonna be up to Olin to do the minutes, and have somebody here?
My opinion would be that, similar to redevelopment, it would be much easier to have a representative from the utility department present, much like we have Ms. Brookbank present with Mr. Messmore. She serves as the clerk treasurer for redevelopment purposes. That's just my opinion. You guys can do it however you like.
I think that would be amenable,
because she has access to the records that you would need, so it just cuts out an extra step. As long as it would be okay with her, because she would be responsible for the minutes, for the agenda, for the packet.
Okay.
Good. Yep. All I got.
Okay, thank you.
Any other new business?
No, Your Honor.
Old business?
I've got 2 items on the old agenda, and actually, I've got one new agenda item that I forgot to mention. I would like permission to hang a bid for Meter Tech 1. Currently, we've got a meter foreman and we've got a meter reader. I don't want to. The intention isn't to hire an additional third person into that department. The idea is that if Jaron Widener signs that bid, that he would move to Meter Tech 1. Jaron has been doing this job now for a couple years. He's done an exceptional job. I get calls almost weekly from Scott and from Mike both talking about his ability to kind of recognize issues, billing problems, meter problems, troubleshoot CTPT work. I guess the best way to classify that is work that well exceeds the meter reader entry position. So I'd like permission to hang that. And
That's more for a promotion rather than a new job.
Well, it's to better classify him with the work that he's doing and the work that he's not, in fairness to him. And then also, I would like permission to work with Greg Nybarger on, a few months ago, 4 or 5 months ago, we had a couple contractors who came in and wanted to talk with us about leasing some excess property utilities has down through the floodgates by the city garage. So I would like to talk with Greg, permission to talk with Greg about developing some lease agreements of sort and some lease rates that might be appropriate for that piece of property, and actually engage with some of these companies who are wanting to lease the property for various reasons. Obviously, a lease of property is something that I do not have statutory authority to handle. That is exclusively up to the board to decide. So I would just like permission to start the process in developing the agreements and then bring that back to you all for ultimate decision.
Can we go back to your first
Sure.
item? Meter Tech 1 bid to be hung. Any questions regarding that? Can I get that in the form of a motion to give Mr. Clausen permission?
I move that we hang the Meter Tech
1
application for Meter Tech 1 application for filling of that position.
I'll second his motion.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A motion will carry. Now, Owen, so correct me if I'm wrong, say Jaron signs that. Will you be backfilling his position? Or
no, I don't
won't be a need to?
I don't have any need to backfill that.
Just a question.
The way that we're doing things in the metering department and our move to, with the new billing software, the next step for us obviously is AMI, because AMR is no longer going to be supported, and AMR's automatic meter readings or packages that are picked up by mobile units. That's not going to be supported here in the near future. Okay. And so AMI meters are going to have to be in place, and AMI meters are real time. They receive information every 15 minutes. And realistically, your meter reader position becomes one of troubleshooting, swapping out meters that are bad, changing CTPTs, verifying PT, CT sizes, things of that nature. So it becomes, the job changes dramatically. And so therefore does the need to have meter readers in the department.
All right. Okay, so then the second piece of that, of your request is to, the board to give Mr. Clausen the ability to negotiate with, or to talk with Greg Nybarger regarding lease agreements and appropriate lease amounts, I believe, for those 2 pieces of property.
Yeah.
So you probably bring that back to the.
Yeah, definitely come back to the board, but just to get an understanding of what the value might be, what a market-based rate might be, because quite frankly, I don't have any idea.
Well, there is one thing I would ask you to find out too, is about the liability, because this is mostly for machinery, isn't it? For
Yeah, well, I don't want. I'd be happy to talk with you, Tony, offline about who the particular companies are. I wouldn't classify them necessarily as machinery. But I understand your point.
Yeah.
But I'd be happy to discuss with you kind of after this meeting about exactly what type of business it might be.
Okay, well, I'm just saying when they do lease it, then it's their own responsibility, and the city's not liable for any damage that kids get in there and break something or
Or oil
anything that
spills
happens
out
in
of
there.
out of something, or chemicals and all those kinds of things. Yeah, absolutely.
So it's all their liability, and the city's not responsible.
Absolutely.
Good point. Okay. So can I get that in the form of a motion to give him permission to speak with Greg Nybarger regarding the lease agreements and potential lease amounts on those two pieces of property?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Any other old business?
The last piece of business I have for tonight, we're building a department, the fiber and data department, and so far we've been able to get by on the piece of equipment that we have. We've got a bucket truck that's an older bucket truck that we've had for some time that is a perfect fit for the fiber guys. What we don't have is a replacement for that truck if we give that to the fiber guys. We've got a unit that is right now, Alltech is looking at the unit saying we've got $25,000 worth of hoses to replace in it, and a truck that's worth maybe $15,000 total. They're willing to give us $10,000 trade on that unit and replace that unit with a 53-foot squirt boom duty rated truck for $209,000. So I would like to replace the truck, give this truck to the troubleshooting crew on the line crew, and move the other truck down to the fiber crew for use. We do have the money in the budget. This would come out of electrical revenues if you so approve.
Questions? Motion?
Moved.
Motion is to get permission to buy a new bucket truck?
Yes, sir.
Second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And that concludes my business, Your Honor.
All right. If no other business, I'd entertain a motion to
Your
approve.
Honor, I have a question for Mr. Clausen. Concerning the outage at Greendale sub, have we made any progress with Duke about either improving that sub or building a new sub like we had discussed previously?
If you recall, there was some talk a few months ago about building a new substation up on top of Pribyl.
Yes.
By the ski slopes. I drafted a letter, really in complaint of that, because what it effectively did was make life really easy on Duke, but make life really hard on both Greendale and Lawrenceburg because of the amount of distribution lines we'd have to build to be served. And that was because some early discussions that we had with Greendale about some sites that we thought would be appropriate for substation location. Unbeknownst to us, they had other plans for the pieces of property, and so those discussions deteriorated. What has come out of that is it's going to take us a little more time to get the substation rehabbed, but Duke Energy, along with IMPA, is going to come back into the same footprint there at the fire station on Ridge in Greendale, and they're going to completely rebuild that substation with a modernized substation. Along the same timelines, I worked to get us a secondary delivery point off of the PJM bus over at the port property. So we now, and Mel, you tried to get that for a while and PJM wouldn't budge on it.
Right.
Well, markets change and things change. We're able to get that delivery point. So in a 5-year plan, we have identified that as a location for an additional substation. What that gives us is two completely different generation sources. So when Duke goes down, and let's face it, they go down quite a bit, we would automatically fell over to the PJM system, which is on a completely different federally regulated system. So in terms of reliability, it's a 100% increase in reliability in terms of transmission. Those substations are expensive, $7 to $8 million, and so we probably wouldn't move to build those things until it just is a much deeper discussion. Right now it's a 5-year plan. 5-year plans are not plans that we seriously think about funding. It's just out there on the horizon.
Did Duke offer any time frame on the rebuild of the Greendale sub?
We're looking at roughly 3 years from today. And the heartbreak about this was when we thought that we were negotiating all this in good faith with effectively the redevelopment department of Greendale, we would have a substation completed right now, new substation.
I know.
And look, they want to do it with their property, what they want to do, so, you know, fine. But it's just going to cost us all a little bit of time.
Okay.
Anything else?
No, it's all.
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn then.
Point of order.
Claims.
I'd like to be recognized. This is Utility Service Board business, not City Council. I'd like to raise this while the Utility Service Board is in session.
We don't have an item for comments from the audience in this meeting. We can let you do it in the next, or in the council meeting. Is that okay? Okay.
We need proof for the claims. Claims.
Oh, we didn't do the claims? Okay. Give me a motion. I need a motion to approve the claims.
So moved.
Second.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion will carry. Now I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion will carry. All right, I'd like to call to order City of Lawrenceburg City Council meeting for November 5th, 2018. Everybody stand for the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Can I get a roll call, Mr. Edgerton?
Yes, sir. City Councilperson Tony Abbott.
Here.
City Councilperson Aaron Cook.
Here.
City Councilperson Mel Davis.
Here.
City Councilperson Randy Abner.
Here.
City Councilperson Paul Seymour Jr.
Here.
Police Chief Donnie Combs.
Here.
Fire Chief Johnny Tremaine.
Here.
EMS Director Bobby Mills. City Attorney Del Weldon.
Here.
Utility Director Olin Clausen.
Present.
Mayor Kelly Milan.
Here.
And myself.
Okay, announcements, board reports, streets, alleys, and curbs, Mr. Cook.
No report, Mayor.
All right. Finance, Tony Abbott.
Everything's good.
Parks and Playgrounds, Mr. Seymour. Fire, Randy Abner.
Yeah, they had their fourth quarter live burn over the weekend. They completed that. Their subject was gallons per minute GPS per second. So they just, that's where all the smoke was, if we had any smoke. So.
Okay.
Other than that, that's it.
All right, I'd like to make a couple of announcements. Many of you probably have seen some Christmas decorations going up. You can blame me for that, but I'm not going to apologize for it. The guys came and asked if they could start putting some things up while it was warm out. So we granted them to be able to do that. We won't turn it on just quite yet. We thought we'd wait till after, you know, Halloween and it's over, so you may have them on tomorrow or something. But anyway, just so you know, there's an explanation for why they're out putting up the decorations. So trying to keep them warm as much as we can before it gets too cold. And I think that's all I have. Anybody got anything else? Any other announcements? Yes, sir.
Yes, Your Honor. I did a pass out for the splash pad.
Yes.
We kind of crossed this over from the Parks Board to this board. Due to the fact we're going to need this board to bless this by the 19th of November, if we want to keep on schedule. Has she left, Abbott?
She was here. One of the grandkids must have called her.
Okay.
She'd be here.
It's pretty self-explanatory on the legend sheet there, what's in place. Budget-wise, what you see here, we're right at 1.1. Mr. Abbott said to keep it under 1.1.
Well, wasn't there another cost if we were to include more inclusive?
We've got the inclusive slide. There's $4,500 for what they call a transfer station. Yeah. Correct. And that's to be able to actually dismount out of a wheelchair into that slide over there by number 2.
So that's in the 1.1?
Correct.
Okay.
And right now, we're at 60% completion on the design, and hopefully by the 19th, we're at 90%, and hopefully 100% by the 28th. So again, we're going to come back at the council meeting on the 19th to have you bless this design, what you see in front of you. So basically, it's just kind of FYI for tonight.
Okay.
Is there any questions from any of the board?
So I guess there's water on both sides of that pirate ship?
The pirate ship is actually in the baby pool.
Yeah.
The, what you're looking to the 2 sides of it is flat water surface. In other words, sprays, ground nozzles, surface nozzles.
That's where the rubber flooring or
soft
flooring is
deck,
going to be.
correct.
In those spots.
Do you have to have both of those? I'm asking the question. I didn't know that. I didn't know how big they were, but
All this fits in the same footprint as the splash park we have now.
So again, tonight was just kind of FYI.
okay.
That's all I had. Thank you.
Instead of a pirate ship, you could have put a canoe or something. No, that's a good. Okay.
We get this done, it's going to be one heck of a splash park, and it's going to be all
Could be.
inclusive for handicapped kids and everything. It's going to be one of a kind.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
All right. Any other announcements? If not, entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the previous meeting.
So move.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We have to? I didn't see the second one.
Work session.
What was it? The 22nd? Okay. We got one other to approve. Work session for October 22nd. I need a motion to approve those meetings, minutes.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion will carry. Thanks, Suzanne. All right, committee reports. Fire Chief Johnny Tremaine.
Everybody should have a copy of October Run.
Thank you. Police Chief Don Combs.
Thank you, Mayor. We had our drug take back on October 27th with the DEA at Kroger's, and it turned out to be a very good day again. I'm yet to get the amount taken in yet. I'll get that report, but they said it was very good, like we did early in the summer with the Attorney General's office. We did an active shooter training at Lutheran Manor. I believe it was yesterday or today. It was today. One of our officers went up there and met with them, and they were very satisfied and happy. And we are going to, in the following future, do some canine demonstrations up there as well.
Oh,
so they're very pleased doing that. Doing some active training with Safe Passage, Safe Place. Here coming up, we're coming to our PD with our whole department to do some training with us. And the 5K with the Whiskey City Festival went over very well last weekend, which on my calendar, I think that is the last one for this year. So
They had plenty of volunteers.
they had plenty of volunteers.
When I drove
So it
through,
went
yeah.
good this year.
Yeah, it looks good. Okay.
With that, that's all I have.
All right. EMS Director Bobby Mills.
I have no further.
All right, sir. New business, Mr. Weldon, salary ordinance amendment.
Yes, sir, Your Honor. Thank you. If it pleases Your Honor and the council, the first agenda item is simply to clear up what was a scrivener's error in the latest salary ordinance. And so let me make sure that everyone has a copy. Is this in the packets, Your Honor?
One from the amendment to the 20-12-2007.
Okay, thank you. So this ordinance will repeal and replace ordinance number 17-2018, and then this one will be called
18-2018.
18, there we go, -2018. And the only change is that, one, it removes the superfluous listings. These were other positions that weren't being changed. And so for the listing of telecommunications manager, it just more accurately describes the pay as salary rather than hourly. So no change at all in the pay. And if you'll recall, the position was already approved. This is just council's duty to amend the salary ordinance to reflect what utility board and council have already approved, which is the hiring and the pay of this position. So the motion would be to repeal 17-2018 and replace it with 18-2018.
So moved. Any questions first?
Okay, is this the one for the raise, also for the raises?
No, sir, and that's the thing. Thank you, Mr. Abbott. So those other positions were in the copy that we approved last time, but they shouldn't have been. They weren't being changed and they weren't being approved or considered. So this just cleans that up, and it's all you guys approved the last time was the telecommunications position, and then the other scrivener's error was it had it listed as hourly rather than salary. This is salary. It is a salary position. So this is just for telecommunications manager, nothing else.
Any other questions? I'd entertain a motion to repeal ordinance 17-2018 and replace with salary ordinance 18-2018.
Your Honor, I made the motion.
All right, got a second?
I'll second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? That motion will carry.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let him sign. Go ahead and sign.
We have a couple in a row, Mr. Richardson.
Do we?
I've got four, I think.
Get this side, okay? Get this out.
Yeah.
Okay, next, Dell, is the interlocal agreement with West Harrison.
Yes, sir, Your Honor. Thank you, and if it pleases Your Honor and the council, what you have before you in your packets is an interlocal agreement between.
We don't have it.
Okay.
We don't have it.
I'll hand this out. We can look at it all together. Sorry about that. This is an interlocal agreement between the city of Lawrenceburg and the city of West Harrison. One of the things that you as a council and redevelopment as a commission have done over the last 3 years that is something to really be commended is the way that we have taken our code of ordinances and used that to further the goals of the city of Lawrenceburg, really in a way that's kind of unprecedented with the appointment by the governor of Judge Johns and the work of Carl Fryman and Diane Hyde in the building department. We've been able to use these ordinances for the very purpose for which they exist, which is to make sure that we have a safe, clean, beautiful downtown and city proper, that we are able to enforce standards that apply to everyone equally and be able to do that in a way that is fair, that is transparent, and that is effective. And in fact, you guys as a council and the mayor, your administration has done such a good job with this that multiple other cities and towns have asked us to do the exact same thing for them, which is to allow us to prosecute ordinance violations in our city court, again, because of the work that Skylar and Kristen and Judge Johns, Carl and Diane do at your direction. It's just so effective, and we've had multiple requests. Dillsboro and now West Harrison. The county is filing all of their traffic tickets at city court now, which wasn't always the case. And so it's just a really terrific thing that is going on over there at Lawrenceburg City Court. And this is the next step for that. I'll let you guys take a minute to kind of look at this. This was something that we drafted in conjunction with the city attorney for West Harrison. This would give us the authority to enforce any code violations. Code violations include anything as simple as how many chickens can you have? Mr. Cook and I worked on that one, which the answer is as many as you want or none, by the way, in case you want to know. That's a good lawyer answer for you. to building code enforcement, safety code enforcement, big things to little things, and all of them add up. And what you end up with is just a much more prosperous city. West Harrison wants to get in on the action, and I think it's a good thing.
So basically, Mr. Fryman will go to West Harrison, be their code enforcement officer, and Lawrenceburg will retain 50% of the net fines.
Mr. Cook, actually, so in order to not tax him additionally, they would take care of citing individuals, and then we would just handle the cases here locally.
Okay.
So I think at some point it's definitely going to be worth considering whether we expand our building department and have Mr. Fryman actually enforce, especially in unincorporated areas of the county, smaller towns and other municipalities. At this point, Carl's just Carl, so he couldn't do that, and we don't want to take any attention away from Lawrenceburg, but to add these additional towns in the county to the city court is okay. It's within their capabilities. They're able to hear these cases as well, and it's a way to generate money. Lawrenceburg City Court is one of the few departments of the city that actually generates revenue on its own, and it also does a great service to our county judges. It takes away a good portion of what they would have to do in terms of traffic tickets and traffic infractions, and we handle those locally. So really good feather in the cap of the city of Lawrenceburg, and something for all you guys to be proud of.
Any questions?
Mr. John's all right with this?
He is.
Putting more work on him?
He is. Mr. Johns is, you know, there are a lot of things that you look at with the structure of the city, and everything's kind of set up. When you read our code, it's funny because you like picture an older time, right? And everyone's kind of part-time and contemplates a lot less work. You know, you hear stories about courthouse used to be closed all summer and on Wednesday, and everybody go to the King Hotel and get drunk or whatever and carry on, but just not that way anymore. And Judge has really, he's given up all of his other practice, and he's only doing city court for us, and I can't say enough about him. I mean, he's really made something special over there, and this is a way to take advantage of it.
Any other questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the interlocal between the city of Lawrenceburg and the town of West Harrison relating to the use of Lawrenceburg's building department and city courts for ordinance violations.
So moved.
I'll second it.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion will carry. Thank you. All right. We got next ice rink?
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
Or wait, yeah.
We could do that, and then just the search the adult or community center.
The engineering study?
And the engineer. We'll do that last if it's okay.
All right, we got the ice rink agreement that needs to be approved.
Yes, sir, Your Honor. What I'm passing out to City Council right now is the lease agreement between City of Lawrenceburg and Lawrenceburg Main Street Incorporated to use the space over there behind the swimming pool for the annual ice skating rink. This is the exact same lease that was presented and approved last year. We just changed the dates to keep it simple, keep it all the same. Pat Kreider and Main Street asked me to present this to you guys for approval because they're going to be up and running pretty soon, believe it or not. Okay,
Saturday.
Saturday it is? Okay, thank you, Your Honor. So this is just a lease agreement. This allows them to use the space. It protects the city. We do have blanket coverage. Everyone remembers. So this is something that I always do and my staff always does in conjunction with Main Street, the city, and our insurance carriers. That's always our first step, is to make sure that we're covered, protected, indemnified. Everyone who skates there is covered, protected by insurance, and so this agreement does just that.
It's the same one we had last year.
Yes, sir, Your Honor, that's correct.
Any questions regarding this, guys?
No.
If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the lease agreement between the city of Lawrenceburg and Lawrenceburg Main Street.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. That one, got that one. What do we got left here?
Uh,
That's not on my agenda.
The resolution for the community center.
Okay. You want to read that one?
Yes, sir, Your Honor. Thank you, Your Honor. Please, Your Honor and counsel, this is, I don't have copies of this. This is a resolution that was provided to us. It was actually drafted by SERPC, who is our local grant coordinator. They're the group that's doing the adult center grant, and they're also the group that has applied once before and is applying again for the community center. So we have a need over there for some HVAC modifications. We keep hitting it really hard with grant applications. It's always more difficult because once you get one, then you're on the bottom of the list. But they're applying again, and this is round 2. So the next step that they require of us is to pass what would be Resolution 7-2018. This is a resolution authorizing the application submission and local match commitment. So what this application does is it commits to match $289,760 in funding for the Community Development Block Grant. Specifically, Dearborn County Community Foundation will contribute $10,000. City of Lawrenceburg will commit the remaining $279,760, and that is again, as you guys recall, that's designed to increase our chances. The better our local match is, the better our chances are to actually get this grant. And if we get this grant, it would save the city a ton of money on this project. So I would just ask that Resolution 7-2018 be presented for review by the council.
And that match amount, that 279, is actually coming from the community center funds.
That's correct, yes, sir, Your Honor. They do have some funds, capital funds set aside.
All right, any questions? I need a motion then to approve Resolution 7-2018, authorizing application submission for the community center for SERPC.
So move.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion will carry. You got an engineering study?
Yes, sir, Your Honor. And if we could, I know we've got a couple of them, but if we could just take a brief time out to allow Mr. Richardson to get the signatures on all these, I would appreciate it. I apologize, but it's just easier this way. Thank you.
Got them all?
Ready to go.
Thank you.
Okay, Dell, you got the engineering study in front of you.
Yes, sir, Your Honor. Thank you. If it pleases Your Honor and the council, what you have in your packets is a proposed agreement from Strand and Associates. This is an item that we've discussed that would allow us to do an engineering study for the property surrounding the apartments by Walmart. There are currently some concerns about the structure there, the retaining wall, and some other items. IDEM is involved. We've been working with IDEM. The mayor and I actually met with IDEM on this item. They're satisfied at this point, but we do need to learn more about that property. This study would enable us to actually learn more about our short-term needs, our kind of emergency needs, and then our long-term needs as well, which I think both items are what you guys need to make some decisions about this property. Their proposed rate as a professional service agreement is $26,500. And I believe Tony is in the crowd somewhere. There he is. So he can answer any questions if you have them. If not, I'll just ask for permission to move forward with this. And we can do this through legal's budget or another budget, however it pleases our clerk treasurer.
I did have one comment.
Yes, sir.
Our fee does not include the fee that ATC, the geotech, would charge. I know the city already has a kind of a standing agreement with them, and we're working with them on the park project. So I've been in touch with them, but I haven't gotten a fee from them yet. But I can definitely reach out and do that.
Can you get that to us before why don't we vote on both at the next meeting? Will that be okay?
That's fine, yeah.
Yeah, I'd like for these guys to know the final numbers.
I didn't want to go too far until you guys had actually kind of brought it up, but I can get that. I can talk to Doug tomorrow.
No, that's good. I'm glad everyone has this and they can chew on this, and we'll just bring it up again.
But I definitely wanted to point that out. So
just a motion to table. Thank you, Tim.
All right, thanks.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can I get a motion then to table the engineering study till the next meeting?
Moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? That motion will carry.
Thank you, sir. That's all I have.
All right. I've got one item in front of you. You got the donation committee recommendations. Any questions regarding those?
Nope.
If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve those.
So moved.
Second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion will carry. Thank you. I have no other new business. Any old business? I don't have any on the agenda. No old business. We'll now entertain comments from the audience.
I'd like to begin.
State your name.
Matt Miles. I'd like to begin by pointing out that I'm addressing you in your capacity as the Utility Service Board. And I'd also like to begin by pointing out that the Indiana Administrative Code defines the term qualified groundwater scientist. It includes a bachelor's degree in the natural sciences and experience with water purification and well operations. I have both of those, and I would like to point out that although the director of the water utility is responsible for wellhead protection, Mr. Clausen has neither. As a result, the threats to our water have been ignored for the past 6 months because the person that you selected for this position has chosen to disagree with myself and scientists from around the country.
Mr. Miles?
Yes.
Could you speak up, please?
As a result, the threats to our water have been ignored for the past 6 months because the person you've selected for this position has chosen to disagree with myself and scientists from around the country, although he can't even perform a simple pH test correctly. This is the entire reason that you're being sued by Proximo in federal court, which you all should know because you were each copied on that report in February. It took me 5 minutes on the phone with Gallup Human Resources to discover that you hired a lineman with a disastrous employment record to be your utility director. And this has been staring you right in the face with every lawsuit, complaint, and financial discrepancy. But you don't need to hear this from me. You can hear this right from his former employers that no one ever bothered to call. I have a 3-minute recording.
Deputy Director, November 2011 to March 2013.
That's a lie. Olin, he was like the head of the line crew. He was never the director of anything. We did not give him that kind of power. Lance was planning on retiring, and he came up with a proposal to move Olin up to kind of the deputy spot. But I insisted it be on a trial basis, and Olin flunked miserably. Then I bumped him back down. I said, the trial's over one day. I said, you're going back to your old job. But I had heard that he got some sort of utility director job in the Cincinnati area. And I thought, my God, they didn't do a background check on that guy. If there's any red flags coming out of Olin Clausen, I would take them very seriously because his track record in Gallup is pretty bad. Anything you told me that he is accused of doing or has done or whatever would not surprise me. I wouldn't turn my back on him for a second. I would not trust Olin with anything. He is actually totally unqualified to deal with water and wastewater.
People drink water. If we f*** this up, pardon my language, we kill people or make them sick.
Olin has no technical background. His limitation is pretty much running that level, he is not qualified. Olin is a bullshitter.
So lie or gaslight. He's narcissistic personality.
I'm not going to disclose his identity right now.
Hold it. Hey.
Well,
Please, no. No, let her finish. Let him finish.
Disorder to the bone. You know, he gets involved with something, and he will make financial claims, technical claims, whatever. He has no background whatsoever to be involved in a fiber optic project. You know, he's not qualified to do fiber optics. He's not qualified to run water sewer.
Sounds like not electric either, beyond lineman.
Yeah, that's about the way I'd size it up.
I don't even know how the hell he became a lineman because he doesn't have a good rep in the lineman shop either.
Yeah, he has no experience in those areas at all. So he should be kept low down in the organization. When he moves up to the next level where he's dealing with projects and budgets and politics, he's a disaster.
Filed a complaint against him. She just finally filed agreements. And nothing happened to her because she hired a lawyer too and said, you know what, here we go. I've had enough. The next thing you know, everybody else was following suit, standing up to him too. And he got run out of the utility office and went back to the electric shop, and then he got run out of there. Because the same thing was happening there. People basically started saying, we're not taking your shit. Bye.
With Olin, you just got all this piles and piles of shit that he has delusions of grandeur. And I don't know what I do with it now. I mean, you just got to get rid of him.
And if anyone would like to confirm that, as should have been done probably by the Human Resources Director, I would encourage you to call out to Gallup and talk to the people that used to employ him. I have some final comments before I'm done. Every single employment contract reads, the board, having considered the employee's executive ability and knowledge of the industry, finds him qualified to manage and supervise the Lawrenceburg utilities. If your human resources manager wasn't so busy drawing engagement rings on his interview form, she might have noticed that his two references were not employers, co-workers, or subordinates, but two of his hunting buddies who had no business providing an employment reference. Olin Clausen is a total fraud from start to finish. His rambling 8-page resume is filled with lies from cover to cover, just like these ridiculous full-page advertisements he continues to spend city money on. And you wouldn't just be learning about this if anyone had bothered to check his background before placing him in charge of city utilities, city employees, and city finances. No one can speak to his financials because he's refused to allow anyone to access them. My public record requests have been in for more than 5 months, and they've refused to allow for on-site inspection. The few documents that have escaped his grasp show evidence of double billing, falsified documents, and at least $300,000 in unapproved, unjustified expenses and unlawful employment practices. This includes using city employees to perform work with the NTUA in New Mexico and awarding off-the-books contracts to friends of Walter Haas, current NTUA General Manager and former APPA President, to effectuate his recent appointment to the APPA Board of Directors. It also includes falsifying timesheets to work around a raise that was denied by City Council. It also includes nepotism to include hiring his children, paying them $14 an hour to sleep, paying his wife for photography and website design, and threatening to hire and then fire more qualified applicants who would have prevented Mr. Seymour's son-in-law from getting his position. And any employees who refuse to turn a blind eye to this way of life have been harassed and threatened out of his crew. But this is no secret because I have numerous documented examples of his abusive behavior, which include text messages, social media interactions, and employee grievances which were filed with HR. One specifically refers to prior reported incidents and asks the mayor how this keeps happening. Regardless of how you choose to proceed, I'd like to remind you how many pending and prospective lawsuits currently center on Mr. Clausen, where each of you are named individually. I would like to ask you to reflect on how the tone of those cases will change when they learn of this catastrophic years-long failure. And I would like to conclude my statements to step aside for other members of the community to voice their concerns. Thank you.
Any other comments? Hey, no more comments without being at the podium. He's already addressed that. Just if you want to know, you can talk to Matt after the meeting.
Well, I've been asked to come here. I was involved in a traffic wreck. I will call it a wreck, because an accident is something that could be prevented.
Your Honor, what's your name?
On
What's your
Rhonda
name,
Geyser.
ma'am? Your name?
Rhonda Geyser.
Geyser.
On 7/24, I was headed home after McDonald's, and this car come across 3 lanes of traffic on 50. I was headed west, the car was headed east, and hit me on my side. It totally destroyed my car. I could have been killed. I was told he was texting. Who was more important that day than my life? Who was it? Who were you texting that was more important than my life?
Well, because your claims are actually accurate, I'll apologize to you.
That's great. You didn't. You didn't apologize the whole time. I thought
I did apologize to you then.
No.
I did.
No.
Look, I'm not going to debate it with you. I apologize. I didn't deny anything that I did there. I was completely open and honest about what I had done. I paid for that both in the civil penalties and the raise of my insurance rates and the cost of having to replace the car. And for that, I'm truly sorry.
Do you remember the car? Do you remember the car?
I do.
That was my dad's car. My dad's dead. You destroyed the car that I was going to drive 20 more years and pass on to my children.
And I apologize to you. Your claims are valid, and I apologize.
And here's the thing. The accident report, it was listed you had Progressive Insurance. So I go home, and I try to call Progressive Insurance. You didn't have a claim. I didn't have a claim with them because you didn't have Progressive Insurance.
No,
so
I had
called
insurance through. I had insurance through
Greendale.
Hummel.
So I called the officer in Greendale, and he said, well, let me check it out. He called me back. He said, well, I sent 2 Aurora cops to his house, and the guy's still not answering me. It's Saturday. I finally received a letter from your insurance company.
That's correct.
I had 4 days that I had to beg, borrow, and steal a ride to work. I didn't know what I was going to do. My car was gone.
I understand.
I don't understand what this has to do with the utility board. I mean, I have accidents outside of the utility board. I mean, I don't understand.
It happened at 7:20. It happened on 7:24. It happened at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Was he supposed to be at work?
No, I was actually off that day. I went to get a haircut and a shave, and I was off of work that day.
Okay. Thank you.
Any comments? Okay. We got some advance payments here for the adult center facilities grants, guys. Looks like a couple of them, totaling $20,623.52. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I entertain a motion to approve the claims.
We do have 2 special claims. Excuse me, we do have 2 claims that need to be approved with your claims packet tonight. One is for $705. That is for LHS for a Christmas wreath program that they're doing. That's not in the packet, but that does need to go out so that they can get the funding for that in time to do the project. And then the other funding is for the ice rink to go. We need to get a deposit out for $26,900 to secure the ice rink to go company to provide us with what we need to get that put up as soon as possible.
Thanks, Richard. Any questions regarding those guys?
Mayor?
Yes.
Pat? I thought that comes from Main Street.
I'm sorry, Richard. What amount did you state for the ice rink for the deposit?
I have it as $26,900.
No, it's probably 46. I don't have the contract in front of me. Yes.
Yeah, it was 50%.
Yes.
Okay, 46,000.
Yeah.
Total cost is
$900.
93,000 or something.
Yeah.
Something.
Well, 90 when the ice melts.
Three
Yeah.
something.
Thank you, Pat.
Pat will make up the difference. Okay. Any questions regarding those additions, guys? Sorry about that. Now I entertain a motion to approve the claims.
So moved.
Second?
I'll second that motion.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion will carry. Motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion will carry. Thanks, everybody, for coming.
Any more? Got everything? Got everything in there?
Let those gentlemen leave.
Why, what is it?
Because they've got to sign this claim.
The only one you got me.
Did you know it was 46?
It'll take somebody else. Yeah. I thought 40 him.
It was 50%.